Good morning, citizens! Another Star Citizen video, but this one was a long time in the making. The last time I put a video out, I said that if I wasn't able to really get the game running right because of bugs and issues with 3.18, I would be able to spend some time editing a video about the time that I did spend in the verse. And that is what this is, because I have been unable to play for almost a week now. This has been by far the buggiest patch I've ever played in the game. I think a lot of it has to do with the new persistent entity streaming and how databases are handled, but it is basically just a disaster. So currently I have the issue where if I ever do try to get in the game, I have something called player unstowed as the issue. So the system doesn't know where my player is in the game or in which database or something. It thinks I'm already loaded, but I'm not. I don't know exactly. I did actually, about a week ago, send an issue to the issue council. I did get a response back, and the response back basically said, try using Arena Commander or trying to get someone to destroy the ship you're in, and then see if you can get back in the game. I'm not currently in a ship, and any of the fixes that I've tried, they did give me a couple more. None of them worked, none of them tried. The only thing that would really work would be a character reset, but CIG is also having an issue with the character resets, causing issues with just putting a lot of strain on their system, so they've removed that ability as well. So I'm not the only one. Many people have been unable to get in the verse, but the good news is that's given me the chance to go through all my footage hours. I think I had about 3 hours worth of footage when I was able to play before this all happened, and edit them and re-edit them. I'm trying to get this into a shorter video so that it's not super long and you don't have to watch all the footage that I have, basically showing what I did, because it is pretty cool. I did manage to, quite simply doing some simple deliveries, still make a ton of cash in a new play loop that I really enjoy, something that I like doing. So I'm going to get into that in a moment. Before that, I'm going to talk a little bit about a few other things. There is still a contest going on. I think tomorrow was supposed to be the last day, but they might be extending it. The PTV race contest. There is also a screenshot contest for Stella Fortuna. That one's pretty cool because you're able to get first place is an Origin 600i with LTI, the exploration version of that. Second place was the Aegis Redeemer, and the third is the Vanguard Sentinel. All those come with the Stella Fortuna paint and lifetime insurance. So they're basically just doing something really awesome in a screenshot if you're lucky. However, if you're lucky, you're just able to get in the verse, and I'm not able to do that at all. So dealing with that, there's a change with ship claims. So a lot of the issues they're having also was with the entitlement processing, which was happening before, which apparently is giving you all the ships that you have at your starting location. So now what they're doing is you can deliver your ships. So when you first start the game, your ships are not at your starting location, but you can click deliver and deliver to that location, which is, I think, really awesome, because you could deliver a ship to your starting location, fly to a new location. Say if I want to start at Lorville, which I do like starting at Lorville, I can fly up to Everest Harbor and then deliver a ship to Everest Harbor instead of claiming it, and you get that ship in about 20 seconds, as opposed to, say, if it was a larger ship like a Carrack. I don't own a Carrack, but you could get that in 20 seconds at your new location. Pretty awesome. I don't know if that's only what they're doing right now to try to get things to work, or if this deliver when you do a character reset or after a wipe is going to be something permanent. If it's something permanent, I think that's awesome, because it will also help maybe if they can work that with things like the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo or Invictus. When you rent a ship, you want to try it out. You maybe rent it in one location, but you actually want to take it out somewhere else. Hopefully something like this will be the case. When you first rent a ship, you can then decide to deliver it at whatever location you want to. That would be pretty cool. Another thing I want to talk about is I looked at the release view and the progress tracker. There is now an entry for 3.19. They're going to be adding tentatively, these are not anything that's been committed yet, but the Lorville Cityscape, they're going to be fixing that up. Lorville 2.0, as you know, it's going to be a much bigger, much more involved Lorville. I think that's going to be pretty cool. I can't wait to see what it looks like. Hopefully, still, the spaceport is just as easy to find. You're just adding more buildings and bigger pieces around there. And I also hope that you can actually fly through the buildings, because that would be super fun. New gameplay experiences. They have the new player experience, which is kind of like a little tutorial for new players to start out. I think that's awesome. I mean, I do like producing tutorials. I'll still be producing tutorials, but that new player experience is going to help people getting into the verse, just learning what they need to do. Salvage contracts. So for salvage, you're able to actually buy locations of ships. Currently, right now, I'm still finding ships when I was able to play. So I'm sure those numbers are going to drop off more and more, as it's going to be more of a job to actually find the salvage. There's going to be something at Ghost Hollow, which is the crashed reclaimer, I believe it is. That's out on Microtech. And something kind of new, something kind of interesting, which is the tractor beam attach and detach. So it says this iteration of the tractor beam gameplay will add functionality to the tractor beam attachment of the multi-tool, allowing it to detach and attach items from ship item ports. This functionality can either be used for component exchange, replacement, or restocking rockets, or to scavenge other ships. I really hope that the scavenge other ships have to at least be in soft death. Otherwise, I could absolutely see you're just going to fly around to different caves or different bunkers that you know do not have armistice zones, and people are easily going to be able to take all the guns off a ship, all the components off a ship, and sell them for a massive profit, as well as just causing issues for all the other players. So I don't really like this if it's just going to be you can take it off any ship. This should definitely be either a ship you own or a ship in soft death. Otherwise, what is the point of having guns that can easily detach? I understand like this would be the equivalent, not so much even of taking tires off a car, but being able to take like engines out of a car with one simple tool. So I'm not really sure if I really like that at the moment. I think parts of it are cool, and it's one more step closer to physicalizing components. I just hope that they're really thinking about ways to prevent this from being abused by some players. The last thing I'll say is that they're talking about implementation of the RSI Lynx rover. Now, this is a rover. I don't even know what it looks like. I don't think there was ever been a photo of it. That's the one that came, I think, with the Phoenix. It was the RSI's rover. So getting that done, maybe that means the is it the G12 it's called, will be in production as well, getting more rovers out there. So those are the only things currently in the 3.19 tentative release view. So now on to what I was able to do, which was get into the verse and do some delivery missions. That was my original plan. So you can see here I'm taking out a Nomad, and I'm going to go do a couple box deliveries. Now my main plan was to not only kind of check out how the renderer, the Gen 12 renderer works, but I already had an idea of that with the P2, but also to see if I could loot as much stuff as possible at those POIs, and then from there sell them and make even more profit. So any new starting player with any ship can loot the different POIs and get some stuff. So I'm just in Everest Harbor right here, resetting my spawn, transferring my imprint here. So if anything happens, I at least don't have to take the tram and get through. I can just start at Everest Harbor and head on out. Once that was done, I decided to go get my ships. Now I do have my cutter, and I have my Nomad, Dragonfly, and the MR you can see there. I decided to go with the cutter first, trying that one out. It is an awesome ship, and I think it is a terrific starter ship. However, I do then switch over to the Nomad, only because the internal space that the Nomad has, now here we go, a little bit of an issue, some non-working elevators, but those will, you just let the doors close and open them again, or go to another door, you're good to go. But I switched to the Nomad because the Nomad holds a lot more than the cutter, so I was able to move the items that I was looting over a lot quicker. So first things first, I'm going to go and look into the delivery missions and see what we have here. We have Seeking New Pilots. Now I selected this one right away, not even looking that this one was not one of the regular POIs, but now there are outposts. So this is going to take me to an outpost instead of the POIs. I didn't originally want to head to any of the outposts because I didn't bring any weapons with me, and they're a little bit harder. They're not the ones I know. They're not in the armistice zone. They're not quite as safe, and if you're just starting out, perfectly safe to just keep going to POIs and looting them, even into local. See a little bit of debris. On now to the outpost. We're in the outpost and we're just about to land, and you can see there's a Cutlass Black there. There was also an Aurora LN, I think it was there. So there were different people around. In a way, this helped me out. Now, I had just started out. I hadn't landed yet. I hadn't. Oh, it's an MR, not an LN. I hadn't landed yet. I hadn't done anything really yet. So if I died now, I'd lose the undersuit I was wearing, but it wouldn't really be that big of a deal. So I thought I'm just going to see if there's anyone around. I didn't actually see any NPCs, but I did see other players running around, so I avoided them. I did like this outpost, and I will check these out in the daytime a little bit more, but there's quite a few things to see here, quite a few little interesting areas. I'm sure there was a better way to do what I did, but I landed here, and luckily I had my multi-tool with the tractor beam attachment, because the package itself was inside this lean-to and I couldn't figure out how to get in, but there are openings in the door, so having some trouble landing here, but eventually I landed, I get out. What I ended up doing was just from the outside kind of moving the box around till I could access it and pull it through one of the holes in the ceiling of this lean-to. So jumping out of the ladder here, you can see I look around a bit to make sure there's no one there, and maybe there's an easier way to get in here, but I couldn't figure it out. So if there is, let me know. But maybe this is something that requires the use of the multi-tool, because I'm looking around. I even tried to jump up and in, but I thought if I got trapped in there, that'd be really annoying. So the package is in this building, so I'm just going to move around till I find a way that I can access the package from a distance. So right here from the side, I can see the package inside there. So just aiming, gonna grab that. All I need to do is check it through a hole in the roof and you're good to go. So a little bit more maneuvering and there we go. Checked it outside. I can go and grab it, bring it to my ship. Easy peasy. Now it is faster sometimes to use the tractor beam when you're moving things around as opposed to holding them in your hands. Also, I can just now throw it inside the interior of the ship. I don't have to worry about where it lands in there. Although it did kind of affect the landing gear there, but it's inside now. We're in the ship. We're going to head to our delivery mission. So I didn't do any looting here, but I'm sure there's some pretty good looting here. Probably some weapons, especially if there's any NPCs you have to take out. You'll be able to gather weapons while doing it. So they are pretty cool. I'm going to be checking out a lot of the POIs when I am back in the verse, whenever that's going to be. So we're just dropping it off now here. We're going to bring the package in, and once we do that, I'm going to take a couple more delivery missions. I'm going to see, once you do the first one package delivery mission, you can do a few more. Now, you see a couple NPCs show up here. You can always tell they're NPCs because their names have the quotations in them. Those are the NPC characters. So, just going to take these guys out. I am in the Nomad now. The Nomad is a pretty good ship for easy NPCs like this one here. So, once these are done, I'll go land and deliver my mission. No need to show too much of the combat because I want to make this video a little bit quicker, and we're already at like the 14-minute mark, I believe. Delivering this package, and then we'll take ourselves another job after we do a little bit of looting. So this is our first loot. Pretty awesome, this move all feature. We've looted everything there. Nothing of high value, but we do have a red crate here. Can see what we got in there, and we've got 2 undersuits, arms, and a helmet. Awesome. So pretty good start. Another gray box there. We'll loot this whole POI into local. Then in the ship, we just have to transfer everything over. Now that we're back in, we're going to look at the delivery missions here. We have this one here. Lots of them, but one of them is a derelict outpost, and I don't really feel like going to the derelict outpost, so I'm going to avoid that. This one here, we go from Hadley to Hurston to Opreon Hurston, so that one looks like a pretty good one. It's really 2 quick planet-side jaunts, and you're gonna be able to loot both of those. Another one, so we'll accept that Hadley one, and then we're gonna go back to General, and we're gonna look at this other one here. This other one, Hadley to an aid shelter. So 2 pickups from the same location. I looked through the rest. I didn't really find anything else I wanted, but it's always good to kind of stack those. You can accept more and more jobs. You can accept as many jobs as you want, but all of those, I'm choosing the ones where it's going to be bringing me to the same places at least one point on the trip. And that's going to allow me to link them together and make a lot more money. So loading the first box in to the back of the Nomad. Once I do this, all I need to do is open up my Moby Glass and choose the other delivery mission that I'm working on at this location and follow it or track it. That way, that box will show up on my HUD and I'll be able to go grab that one. So heading back down the ladder. Once I'm down the ladder here, I'm going to switch over in my Moby to the new job. So you can see here we don't have any other any other packages on my HUD showing me where the packages are. So all I need to do is open up my mobiGlas and follow the next one. So you can see here we go down to Contracts Manager, go to Accepted, and then we choose the second one here. So I have that one. I've collected it. This one here, I'm going to track it. And then when I close my mobiGlas, you can see there's the package there. I keep hearing this noise, so I keep looking around. I hear ships, but I don't see them. So that one's on my HUD. I'm going to go grab that, put it into my ship. So there it is on the shelf here. Grab that, put it inside. Back in the ship, I put it down. Now before I leave, I thought I would check one more time any delivery missions. Always a good idea. I'm at Hadley right now. So looking at the delivery missions, we have both there. We're following them. I can decide which one I'm going to go to. Do I want to deliver to Opry first, or do I want to deliver to Barton Flats first? I kind of like Barton Flats because then when I land on the moon, I can easily get back into space and fly again. However, it is closer to be on the planet. But looking at the delivery missions here, we have another one here. This is Derelict Outpost. Don't want that. But this one's here new, and it's like pick up 2 packages. One of them's on Hadley. So I am at Hadley right now. Why not accept this third mission? So we're going to accept that, and the other ones are bringing me to Stanhope and different areas on Laurelville, or on Hearst, I should say. So now I'm going to choose this next one here, and I have 2 packages to collect. I'm going to track this and grab that third package. I don't have to go anywhere. That package is right outside my ship. So that's awesome. Before you leave a POI, always look to see if there's a delivery mission at your location. You can always grab that and pick it up right away and save yourself a lot of travel time. So 3 different delivery missions all at once. Now I'm not going to actually show you any more of the looting. I'm not going to show you any more of the amount of time that I spent delivering these around. Nothing else really happened. Delivery missions are easy and relaxing. You can see here I've grabbed this, I'm putting it back into the ship, and I'm going to take off. There's really no reason to worry about something like this because I've chose all locations that are POIs that have armistice zones. They're all basically the same layout, that are easy to quickly loot. I loot everything to local inventory when I'm at one location, and then I just transfer it to my ship. If your ship's too full, you can leave it at local inventory. You can come get it later, or you can make a stop off during deliveries at something like Everest Harbor. All you need to do is be within the armistice zone, get out of your pilot seat, and you can access local inventory and transfer everything over. So pretty awesome. So now I'm just going to jump ahead. I actually have 2 videos. I have a video that I recorded kind of looking through everything I had and what I ended up getting. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to sell there because the kiosks weren't working for an entire day. I was able to sell the next day, so I'm going to go just kind of show you the end result of how much money I made selling everything. I might go through the video kind of looking through everything at another time, but you can see here all the stuff that's in my vehicle. I've only got 4% of my vehicle open right now, but I mean, I'm getting thirsty. Look at all the drinks that I've managed to get just by looting and all the other stuff in local. I'm going to transfer that all over and bring it to Everest Harbor. And so now those delivery missions, I'll put up the total right here on the screen, how much I made for those delivery missions on their own, and then we'll see how much I made selling the items. And I didn't sell all the fruits that are there. I didn't sell any of the food that was there, any of the flares. They're really not worth much, but you could make little bits more. But most of the armor, half of the multi-tools, some of the undersuits, I ended up selling quite a bit of stuff, and this is what I made. So if you look at here, well, I am going through these items here in the shop to sell. A lot of the stuff sold for over 1,000 UEC. Some things like the armor, you're looking at a few hundred at least a piece. A lot of the clothing, 100 or more. Multi-tools, you're looking at a couple hundred each. The really big money maker are these Pembroke helmets. They are 1,500 a piece, so those made me a lot of money. But you notice this one here, $0. That is one of the subscriber flare helmets that I found in one of the red chests, so those aren't worth anything. But here we have something worth 2,000. Like, there's quite a bit to sell here if things were working right, working smoothly, because getting things to sell took me a couple days, and then of course the whole system crashed. I wasn't able to sell after that. And you can see here someone else is trying to sell. Now I do find this kind of interesting. You can't see how much money they have in their wallet, but you can see what they're doing, what they're trying to sell. I don't know if that's kind of a glitch, but I think it's really kind of interesting that at least part of the screens are working, you're able to watch them. For piracy, that's going to work. For people looking to see what someone's buying and putting their ship, they can also go to the ASOP terminals and see where they're pulling their ship out of. So it's kind of an interesting way to be able to look over someone's shoulder. But trying to sell things weren't selling for me, and that's why I currently cannot recommend this as a viable way to make some money because it took so long to sell the goods. Transactions would not go through, they'd fail, the whole screens would shut down, and the game was crashing. But once things get smoother, and in the PTU, they were really smooth for me, and I was able to sell really quickly before all of this happened. It was awesome, and you could actually sell things quite quickly from the inventory. And if you're just building up and storing things, you could do this in one game session of just selling things and making them. So the total amount that I made, you'll be able to see my wallet. I'll show a picture of it here, but my end result, and this is after spending some money to claim ships and speed up the process, to buy some supplies, I still ended up with 326,469 UEC. I started with 205,000 UEC, so that means, not including my expenses, I'm coming out ahead with 121,469. If you take away the 17,000 that I made for the actual delivery missions, that means just selling the goods that I looted in these POIs, I made over 100,000, 104,469. That is pretty awesome. And it's just by grabbing equipment while you're there, filling up your ship, and selling it later. It's basically a free way to make money, and it makes delivery missions for new players extremely profitable. So I can highly recommend, if you are getting into the verse and you are just starting out and you need to make some money and you need to get some supplies, go loot while doing a delivery mission. You're going to make a lot of money, but you're also going to end up with a bunch of multi-tools. You're going to end up with more food than you'll ever need. You can start leaving pieces of equipment at different locations or at different stations. It is 100% something that I would recommend doing. And so that is it. Sorry it took so long to get this video out because I just haven't been able to play, haven't been able to finish this. This has been a frustrating last week, but hopefully there's going to be a patch coming out soon. There's a PTU patch for 3.18.1 coming up. As I said in the previous thing, I showed a little bit of an image there from Spectrum. They're actually going to wipe almost everything. They're going to be wiping items that you gathered, but you're keeping your rep and you're keeping your money. So if you have things that you've looted, try to sell them. Sell them right away, because you're going to be able to keep that money, but those items themselves will disappear. But once the new patch is dropped, once 3.18.1 is dropped, I'm just going to go out and start looting again and get all my food and supplies that I need once more. So until next time, thank you for sticking with me, and hopefully you found this informative. I hope to see you soon in the verse. Goodbye, everybody.